Shang Tsung is to be executed for his failure, but he's able to avoid the Emperor's wrath by suggesting a new approach. Meanwhile, the heroes all return to the Wuxi Academy except for Nightwolf, whose absence is never explained. He just comes back for MK3 but misses out on MK2, which makes him come off as a dick for not sticking around to celebrate, and Raiden an idiot for not contacting the shaman to bring him back into the fold. I mean, even Shaolin Monk's Kung Lao attended the medal ceremony, and he was a jealous arsehole, so what's Nightwolf's excuse?
What's going on here? It's not my problem.
Speaking of Kung Lao, in this scene he swapped to his primary outfit, the one based on Shaolin monks. But this one makes more sense as a battle outfit and the other for ceremonies, not the other way around. That night, Raiden expresses his concerns to Jax as Shang Tsung, now restored to his physical prime and resembling both Sector and Cabal, approaches with an offer.
The Emperor proposes a single tournament to replace the current system of 10. If Earthrealm does not win, Outworld will absorb it. But if Earthrealm wins, Shao Kahn will abandon his claim to it forever.
This differs from the original version without Raiden changing anything, but it's one of the few such changes I actually like, and I'll discuss it more later. Raiden refuses, naturally, prompting Shang Tsung to open a portal to allow Tarkatans to enter, making one seriously question why Kahn can't just go to Earth himself if everyone else can. And before we bring up an explanation later on in this game, no, that does not explain why Kahn himself can't go while everyone else can. While Raiden and Shang Tsung have a fight we never learn the outcome of, suggesting Shang Tsung flees with his tail between his legs, Jax goes to fight the mutants but is soon overwhelmed. He awakens the following morning to find that Sonya has been taken, I guess to goad the heroes into accepting the terms. But why not kill or take Jax while he's unconscious? Raiden, whose previous vision of the Academy attack never triggered, has a vision of Kahn defeating MK2 and concludes that the visions depict events he needs to change, rather than cause. He accepts the terms and the heroes head to Outworld. We start MK2 following Jax, Raiden and Johnny Cage's search for Sonya, and this chapter, probably more so than any other, showcases the problems with the strict 4-battle chapter system. We learn that some Shaolin Masters have been taken as well, so the two monks are off saving them off screen. We are only told this and never shown. Could have made for an interesting chapter if we weren't limited to one chapter per character unless it's Batman. If you're expecting a proper tournament structure this time, you're a poor deluded fool and I pity you, sorcerer. The impatient Jax just walks in and has to fight Baraka. After that, all tournament battles take place in the arena in front of an audience. So I guess Jax vs Baraka was a dark match. Does that mean Kahn has to describe the match to the audience when he gets to the arena? Does he use puppets or just a Tarkatan in blackface? So Raiden leads Johnny and Jax to the armory and it basically amounts to...
I have no memory of this place.
Raiden has absolutely no idea where they are.
Once again I say, God, I'm useless.
Johnny asks about Sonya and Jax's relationship because he wants to get proper stuck in, so Jax flips out and breaks his spine. Was this really worth including as a fight? Jax loses his shit because Johnny Cage is a bit of a twat. Jade shows up to make up numbers, and with the fight quota almost filled, Raiden suddenly knows where to go, and the heroes go to the acid bath, which really looks stupid and unreasonable in 3D. Like, how easy would it be to slip off and dissolve horribly in all that acid? Sonya is apparently being held here because she tried to escape from her last holding location. They could just take her right to the arena to be executed, I don't know. It's not really clear why Kahn's keeping her around, if not to show her off at the arena, or hypnotise her into marrying him so he can legally go to Earthrealm. Because that looks totally natural for a guy with his build, and with that, Jax's chapter is now complete, meaning we'll never get to play as him with his cybernetics. The only thing iconic about his character. Good job, guys.
What took you so long?
He was busy hitting me in the face.
Sonya detects two entities entering Outworld because she had tech that could do that before she arrived on the isle. But she didn't know about Outworld before MK1, so how did she... Smoke arrives in Outworld with Sub-Zero.
We should stay together, Tundra.
I like that. Tundra was the elder Sub-Zero's name during MK1's development before they came up with the much stronger sounding Sub-Zero. The two are here to investigate the elder Sub-Zero's death because apparently neither Sector nor Cyrax felt it necessary to divulge the specifics of Sub-Zero's death to his fucking brother. Imagine if the police arrived at your home to tell you one of your relatives had died before pissing off without elaborating any further. The two split up and Smoke is immediately set upon by Kitana. He defeats her with the power he acquired when he was burned alive as a child in honour of the cult's god because turning Smoke into a Lesser Gillespie makes so much sense. Then he arrives in the forest where he spies on Kano showing Shang Tsung some Earthrealm weaponry, and this is obviously a nod to his first appearance. I really have to question why they're doing this here rather than in one of Kahn's heavily fortified strongholds, but I guess the writers figured a jobber like Smoke wouldn't be able to infiltrate a place like that. I also have to question why Kano is here at all. I'm not talking about this as a retcon, but as a logical storyline thing. When Raiden initially receives his visions, we see Kano imprisoned in Kahn's arena, as was the case in MK2, but the logic here is that Kano is supposed to have always been working for Shang Tsung, so that shouldn't have been a vision, right? And when Raiden has that vision again after the massacre, it's Sonya in Kano's place, but it's never suggested that Sonya takes Kano's place due to Raiden's interference. It seems to me that the story changed during development and the team just screwed up big time and left in this huge inconsistency, and sadly this will not be the final time this happens. Kano loses to Smoke because of course he bloody does, then Shang Tsung summons Reptile for a tag team, with Shang Tsung mocking Smoke by assuming the Elder Sub-Zero's form. Wouldn't this have made much more sense as a way of taunting Sub-Zero's brother? It's just another wasted opportunity and about the only way they could have reasonably included a mirror match in this story. Smoke somehow wins and is ambushed by a terrible looking cyborg Sector. Smoke overcomes the teleport spam but is almost captured by an army of random cyborg / robots that exist now for some reason, only for Raiden to show up and save him. We then transition over to Sub-Zero as he... wait, is that Kratos? Huh. As he's ambushed by an even worse designed Cyrax, once again proving that him defeating Sector back in chapter 4 actually accomplished nothing. Yeah, that was time well spent. Sonya and Jax then arrive and tell Sub-Zero about Scorpion before Ermac interrupts them and Sonya just stands there as Ermac proceeds to explode Jax's arms. This is evidently a change from the original timeline, but it's not clear what it was changed from, and we'll sadly never know now. Sonya cauterizes the wounds, which are oozing a dirty yellow pus-like substance, which is actually pretty cool, but it doesn't see use in any actual finishes for some reason. Either way, Sub-Zero beats Ermac, learns about the arena from Sonya, and tells her about a portal she can use to get back to Earthrealm, effectively eliminating both her and Jax from the tournament. Again, does Kahn then have to explain this to the audience? Sub-Zero arrives in the arena where he witnesses Kitana hesitate to finish a nondescript opponent, forcing Kahn to do it. Sub-Zero demands a fight with Scorpion, but has to beat Reptile first. Scorpion is easily one of the toughest fights I had in my most recent playthrough alongside Ermac and Kahn. But Sub-Zero emerges victorious anyway, only to be ambushed by the Lin Kuei, who pledge allegiance to Shao Kahn in return for being allowed to take Sub-Zero away. Raiden notes that he's effectively swapped Sub-Zero for Smoke, which is one of the few logical chains of events we see as far as Raiden's impact on the timeline goes. Kinda. Presumably without saving Sonya, Raiden wouldn't have known about Smoke's presence and the Lin Kuei would have taken Smoke, given up on Sub-Zero and never pledged allegiance to Kahn. I guess the one they don't take is then considered under Raiden's protection, so they just leave him alone. Kahn is super bitchy over Kitana not killing the guy just because she's the only person he ever prompts to do so, and sends her away. Sensing an opportunity, Raiden follows.
Sure, let's go ruin someone else's life.
After arguing with Jade, who doesn't hear Raiden arrive despite only being a few feet away by the time he does, Kitana beats down Johnny and Smoke together, officially beginning their jobber phase. That done, Raiden has a vision of Sindel's return, which somehow leads to him sending Kitana to Shang Tsung's flesh pits. Not a vision of Kitana's clone, but of her mother. Jade tries to stop Kitana as she passes through the forest for the same reason as Smoke's early presence there, and Kitana arrives at the flesh pits. The flesh pits have been a background concept since around Armageddon, where it was a place of origin for meat. The name sounds so awesome and evokes the image of a deep hole in the ground with walls lined with gore and a pile of viscera at the bottom, where Shang Tsung performed his arcane experiments to create his horrid abominations. And the scary part? He's getting better. How intriguing a concept is that? The name, MK vs DCU and Scarlet's DLC trailer for this game all indicate that this is indeed the case, but when Kitana actually enters the place it looks like an abandoned Umbrella lab. I mean, it looks cool and it's one of the few new locations in the game, but the look hardly evokes the same kind of awesome imagery as the name. Kitana walks past a number of failed experiments created in her image, clearly inspired by a similar scene in Alien Resurrection. She comes across Melina, who is just lying on a table in a bunch of bandages. You can actually unlock this costume in the original release of the game if you finish stage 300 of the Challenge Tower, and the team made a big deal out of it, even attaching the Best Alternate Ever achievement to its unlocking. Is it supposed to be titillating? Because I can do a quick Google search and find actual porn of Mileena, some even using a modded version of her model from this game. So this costume is a really weak price for having to put up with this.
Blocking disabled! Blocking disabled! Blocking disabled!
Mileena gets up and shows off her new childish personality before being beat down by her sister. Shang Tsung then arrives. Why wasn't he here already if Mileena was already finished? After beating him, Kitana drags him before Shao Kahn.
This conjurer has created horrid replicas of me.
Well done, sorcerer.
I'll save my rant for later. After revealing that he is not her father and in fact murdered her real father, Kahn sends Kitana off to the tower to await her execution at the arena, where he is going immediately after this. Once again, I'll save my rant for later, but I will ask, why did Kahn leave the arena if he was just going to go right back there? Did Kitana take Shang Tsung to the arena, then accompany Kahn back here, or was Kahn already here for no reason in the middle of the tournament? I don't know, maybe he needed a piss break. Much like Scorpion, the animation on Kitana's eyes throughout all this is fantastic and goes perfectly with Karen Strassman's powerful vocal performance to really capture Kitana's various emotions. It's a real shame the animators will never get the credit they deserve. Jade overhears and goes to free Kitana, defeating Baraka in the armory along the way. I do like the fact that we see Baraka inspecting a bunch of guns as a follow-up to the scene with Kano in Smoke's story, all foreshadowing for the ultimate invasion plan, even if an invasion plan is currently not on the table. Jade defeats Shiva, who is guarding Kitana, because when the person you put in charge of guarding a prisoner fails to keep said prisoner in prison, you obviously assign them a similar but more significant post with less backup. Jade beats her so hard, she gets swapped to her alternate costume. More guards are on the way, so Kitana urges Jade to find Raiden. She encounters Mileena first and defeats her, which is witnessed by Smoke, who believes Jade has attacked Kitana despite the only visual similarity between the two being their hair colour. I initially thought at least the area around their eyes was the same, but it's actually not. Their eyebrows and even their skin tone are completely different. The eyes themselves are Takata, and her attire is different in both colour and shape, her hair is much shorter, and even her nails are painted a different colour, clearly the most important detail there is. You really can't look at the two, especially from a distance, and conclude that the two are the same person. It's like when complete idiots mistake Shadow for Sonic in broad daylight. Smoke loses of course because he's Smoke, and Jade informs Raiden of Kitana's situation, just as Liu Kang and Kung Lao return, their 5-chapter long off-screen adventure presumably a success, though they don't actually say so.
What's Raiden got that I haven't got?
Godlike power?
A personality that is not at all like sanding paper? Jerks.
Liu Kang is shocked by what he hears despite the audio mixing being so bad you can barely make out Jade's words. Raiden is hesitant to allow the two monks to go to the tower, but since he has concluded that Liu Kang is not he who must win, Raiden allows them to go while he and the others head to the arena. Upon arriving at the tower in search of Kitana, Kung Lao calls her Liu Kang's girlfriend, both obvious references to Shaolin monks, only Kung Lao's comment makes less sense when he's not an intolerable asshole. And wouldn't you know it, she's already been moved. She wasn't even held there for an hour.
Well done, everyone! Well done!
Shiva shows up alongside Noob Saibot, fighting Liu Kang and Kung Lao respectively. Noob goes down easy, true to his name, while Liu Kang struggles with Shiva, despite having already beaten Goro by this point. Speaking of which, Goro shows up to challenge Kung Lao. I'd complained about Goro's altered role in the story and basically being made a chump, but giving Kung Lao some closure for the whole Avenge My Ancestor story he has now, it works. Even if Kung Lao then reveals him to be the reincarnation of the Great Kung Lao rather than just his descendant, which is actually impossible as the Great Soul was taken by Shang Tsung, making it impossible for him to reincarnate. Catface lets it slip that Kitana's already been taken to the arena, and Liu Kang kicks him in the head limply so as not to hurt the other actor. The two arrive at the arena to find Johnny losing in a cutscene, Smoke already defeated, and Jade... Hey, where is Jade? Did she not follow Raiden? Liu Kang refuses to fight because he's in a mood about Raiden doubting him, I think? They're trying to set up a rift between the two, but Raiden hasn't really caused anything bad as far as Liu Kang knows, other than Kitana being captured, and considering the fact that Liu Kang can just walk right over to Kitana without Shao Kahn lifting so much as a finger to stop him, I don't think much bad has come from Raiden's actions so far. Also, Kitana's outfit is different here, suggesting someone stripped and redressed her for Kahn's amusement. Creepy with a capital K. Kung Lao somehow being less of a petty dick than Liu Kang despite his Shaolin Monk's attributes, is more than happy to go up and fight both sorcerers, showing where Shang Tsung got his poor understanding of rules from.
No Earthrealm boy can stop this deadly alliance.
Yeah, cute. though I do have to wonder how Kung Lao can beat the two when Liu Kang couldn't in the original timeline. Kung Lao beats both and then Kintaro before getting his neck snapped by Kahn. You have to wonder how Kahn would have managed that had Kung Lao not removed his hat to bow to the audience. I'm not really sure why they chose to have Kahn break Kung Lao's neck here, but either way Liu Kang is enraged and attacks, fulfilling his destiny by defeating Kahn with a good old
Falcon Punch!
With Kahn's death, Earthrealm is saved forever, but at the cost of Kung Lao's life. Not only that, the future is still not changed, meaning Kahn is obviously still alive, which Raiden somehow fails to pick up on, instead leaving with those that remain. The Outworld forces debate who should succeed Kahn without even checking for a pulse, though I suppose they're thinking, as they logically should, that a punch through the heart is obviously fatal. Even Motaro makes an appearance here. Kahn enters the scene having been saved by Quan Chi because of course he bloody was, and Kahn has the gall to blame his loss on Shang Tsung. Again, later. Quan Chi suggests outright invasion, which Kahn claims is impossible. Supposedly, Sindel's sacrifice thousands of years ago created a protective ward over Earthrealm that, according to Quan Chi, provides a level of protection that even the Elder Gods can't provide. How? Why? I don't know, but what I do know is that while Kahn is too stupid to figure this out on his own, Quan Chi has figured it out despite being unable to pronounce Edenia.
So Earthrealm could not suffer as had Edenia.
Oh, and Baraka fans, enjoy the moment while you can because this is the last we see of him. Even Motaro, an NPC, shows up during the invasion arc, but Baraka?
Yeah, no.
Then again, I suppose they could be sticking to the original timeline in which Baraka did not take part in MK3, but why should that stop them now? Quan Chi resurrects Sindel under mind control to be loyal to Kahn, thereby breaking her wards. It's worth noting, however, that the fallen statue of Sindel in the background indicates that this stage is set in Edenia/Outworld. Surely casting a protective ward over Earthrealm would require her to be in, you know, Earthrealm. I don't know, I don't fucking know. This whole protective ward thing is never explained in any satisfactory manner, and just opens a big plot hole because one has to wonder, if Sindel has a protective ward over Earthrealm not connected to the Elder Gods or the tournament, then does that mean if Outworld won 10 tournaments in a row, Kahn still wouldn't be able to go to Earthrealm? It's a subject worth bringing up at least once. But apparently all that matters is that thanks to Quan Chi, Earthrealm is now open to a full-scale invasion. And this, my friends, is where things really, really get bad.